Well, welcome to the show tonight. Thank you so much for joining me in episode 30 of Podcast Tips with Rob Greenlee. I'm actually, as you can tell, I'm doing it from a different location. I'm actually out in Phoenix, Arizona today at my daughter's house. So I'm doing it in her living room. So this just speaks to the flexibility of the Streamyard platform to be able to do it off of a Surface computer. So it's awesome to have you join me tonight and being a part of this show. I'm going to do a deep dive tonight, like I do pretty much every episode. But we're going to talk about the power of the combo of live and in-person content, and how that may be mapped to podcasting and an opportunity for those that have an interest in really deep diving into live, even on the in-person side, and how that can interface with a podcast. So I have a very exceptional guest with me that you can see off to my left here, is
What?
Christine.
Is it Rob Greenlee?
Yeah,
Hi.
Christine Blackburn. Yeah, Christine Blackburn
And
is with
Rob
me.
Greenlee, professional. He is the man in the game of podcasting. Good to see you, Rob.
Oh, it's great to see you, Christine. It's been a long time. I know I'm out on the East Coast and you're out on the West Coast, so we don't bang into each other very often anymore. But
we're just two podcasters floating by each other in the night.
Right.
Our RSS feeds barely touching.
Yes. I've always enjoyed the type of energy and the content that you create, especially on the live side, getting in front of a live audience and really focusing on trying to have a humorous production and have an entertaining show and with a lot of energy and things like that.
Well,
And
you don't like to be bored, do you?
Well, no, nobody likes to be tremendously bored.
Right.
That's
so why would somebody make a boring presentation? Or like your presentations aren't boring.
Well, I like to think that, Christine. Thank you so much.
They could use a little more dancing, but nonetheless.
Well, that's true. I can't do that at a dining room table. So I think being up on stage at like an improv club might be a better place to do such a thing, right? So let me give a little bit more background on Christine. She does a show called Storyworthy, and she's been doing that for what? You've been doing that for 14 years now, haven't you?
It'll be 14 years in July of this year. Yeah. And Rob, I have made hundreds of dollars. You know that.
Yes. Yeah. So, and there's a little bit of a joke there, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So let me pull up Christine's website, and you can take a look at her her branding that she has on her website about all the stuff that she does. Right. And she's really done a terrific job of building websites to support her activities and her content and things like that. So it's always great to kind of showcase that. And it's at her name. So just type in ChristineBlackburn.com and you can get to it. And here is her other show website too. Let me pull that up here so you can see that.
I have 4 now. Can you believe that?
4 websites?
4 websites, wow. Yeah, because I have 3 shows. So each show has a website. That's Story Smash. That's my game show.
Yeah, exactly. And so you do. So let's go through the list of shows that you're currently doing. You're doing Storyworthy. You're doing Story Smash, and you're doing
and now you
a music series.
My Life in 3 Songs. Yeah, mylifein3songs.com.
So let's talk a little bit.
Each show, I feel it's important. You know, as a producer, sometimes you want to do as much as you can without a lot of money. And so every day you kind of want to at least work on your project, at least I do. You know, I have a lot of energy to give, or that I want to give to each of my passions. And so a website is just logical. And even if you're at the very beginning, make sure you choose the name of your show from a domain that you can acquire. I think that's important. So,
Yes.
yeah, I end up having 4, and it's an expense, of course it is, but at the same time, I can write it off at the end of the year. And I just, like I said, I kind of want to use every tool that I can because there's so much luck involved as well.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
I can control it, then I want to do it, and I can get a website, and so can you.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a great marketing tool for your show and your personal brand. But I think I think most people will probably realize that. It's just it is a little bit of a work to put one of these things together. I mean, so how do you put your show website together, Christine?
I
Do you do it yourself
completely
or do you
learned on my own. Absolutely.
okay,
Everything I do, I've learned on my own. I use Squarespace. So that's
got it.
always where that's always been where I've built my sites. So that's another thing. Of course, I've gotten used to it. And the other thing I do is I'll go over to certain other podcaster sites. I don't want to mention any names, but WTF, Mark Maron, because one
Mhm.
of his big sponsors has always been Squarespace. So that Squarespace is making him a damn good site. They're making him a site that's current. And so
Yeah.
sometimes I'll see what's going on over at Marin's site and then I'll duplicate it. Have you ever heard of that? You just
Yeah.
do what the other guy's doing, of course.
Well, that's exactly what has built podcasting. I think in the long term is that people seeing what other people are doing and maybe riffing on it a little bit and doing a little bit different, but taking ideas and sharing them. I mean, that's what built the internet and the web too, was that whole
Exactly.
concept of sharing HTML code. I know I went into many websites and cut and paste code out of their
But
websites. I
but
could put
but
it into
it's
my
funny
website.
because people think that they have to be original, but you really don't have to be original because you already
Yeah.
are, because
Yeah.
you're your own person.
So you started this music show that you got off the ground working with the music licensing restrictions. So you had to go to work with Spotify um, to get that show off the ground. I mean, do you see music being a genre that we're going to see have potential, or do you just see more restrictions coming
Oh my,
with
I don't
music?
know. I think, there's it's always been difficult to get licensed music unless you buy
Hmm.
it,
Hmm.
and I think it'll continue to be difficult. I don't think that's gonna change. So I think you have to just figure out, well, then who does have that licensing? And I'm not positive about this. Maybe you'll know. Doesn't so-called every radio station have the capacity to use music, right?
Well, with podcasting, you mean? Or
No, I'm just saying, like, if NPR put me on the air and they wanted Story Smash, or excuse me, they wanted My Life in Three Songs. So now I'm recording My Life in Three Songs over at KCRW Studios in
mhm,
Pasadena or the one in Culver City, and
mhm.
then they're airing My Life in Three Songs on KCRW. Could that be done or not?
Yeah, I think that they probably could, yeah. Yeah, I think they could do that. Mhm,
So that's what I need to find, is somebody who has the licensing. Like SiriusXM, of course, would be gold. I would love that because they already have a lot of comedy stations and they complement, the stations
mhm,
complement one another. So I think they would send me
mhm,
over, even bigger comedians. I've had on wonderful comedians like Margaret Cho, Patton Oswalt,
mhm.
Jimmy Pardo, Laurie Kilmartin. I've had on some wonderful folks, and the show is still going. But what I'm saying is, I could even get Bill Burr. I mean, there's people to get that would love this idea. I just don't know them, and it's hard then to get in. I mean, I write to people's publicists, I write to people's managers, and sometimes that works. But for the most part, I know a lot of comedians, and that's how I'm able to target that group.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I think, I mean, you have access to some really talented people for your shows, and I think
I
that
do, yeah.
is always makes for entertaining shows, and I think that's a real advantage that you've been able to tap into being in LA too. So you've got that pool of creators too.
W-
But
Right.
you,
And I
you
work
also
for those because
use
those are relationships.
right,
Sorry.
right. Yeah, but you also used StreamYard a while back during the pandemic too, didn't you?
I love
For
StreamYard.
some live
During the
shows and things
pandemic,
like that.
yeah, we were
Hmm.
all kind of floundering around, putting together what we could. Zoom got very familiar, and StreamYard came into the picture, and everybody was making all sorts of crazy stuff. And I'm in my apartment where I am right now with a game wheel, and I'm trying to play a game show on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, it was just funny stuff. But StreamYard was really good, and I like the lower third stuff you can do like you're doing. And look at Johnny Bean is typing in, "Hey, everyone." Hi, Johnny. It's fun.
Yeah, and the comments just come flowing in,
It's
which is
class, yeah.
fantastic. Actually, I love that. And that's the thing that I really loved about this show is
Yeah, well, and
being able
also,
to be
like,
live, right?
when I did Story Smash Online, the game show, I have there's 3 judges and then 4 contestants. So there's 7 people plus me, so 8 people in the game. And
Hmm.
StreamYard was able to have, the little boxes, and it was fun. It was like
Yeah.
we're the Brady Bunch, it was silly. It's fun.
So, what did you find was the most compelling function that you got out of using StreamYard?
Well, it was going to Facebook and LinkedIn,
Hmm.
and I think it might have even been going to Twitter for a second. I'm not sure. But,
Hmm.
that was really nice. And
Yeah.
then also, like I said, I really like being able to type in people's names because I'm doing a game show. So they got the clock is going, and then I'm typing people's names. It was fun, and in the moment you could be writing, I'd say like, all right, you guys, anybody out there have excuse me, in my game, Rob, just in case anybody doesn't know, and I'm sure many people don't, but I have a big prize wheel and people spin the wheel, and whatever the wheel
Yeah.
lands on is that's going to be the topic of the story they tell. The story is there's the wheel. The story, you only
Yeah.
tell a 1-minute story. It's very fast. And then the judges are, generally pretty accomplished people, and they critique the storyteller. And it's very, very silly and very funny. And on StreamYard, I was able to get, in real time, people's comments and answers, especially if the contestant would land on audience, because that means that anybody out there in Facebook or wherever you're watching from can chime in and throw out a storytelling topic like swimming pools or cruise ship or car accident or
Hmm.
hospitals or internet down, whatever. And then
Hmm.
on the spot, the person has to tell the quick story. So it's super fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to mention a person just asked me, is there any new features in StreamYard? And I don't believe that there's any to announce right now. So I would check back to the website. I believe it's new.streamyard.com if you wanted to check on anything new that was out. But I don't believe that there's any new features that have been rolled out since the company was sold to a new owner. So I think they're
I had
probably
no
in
idea
the
that
process.
happened until you told me.
Yes, right. So they're probably reassessing the platform. They're probably trying to evaluate what the functions and features and what they want to do next. Right. So I would probably look for that probably in the, like in the coming month or something like that, you'll hear probably more new features. But up to this point, it's, StreamYard rolled out a bunch of new features just a couple of weeks ago. So,
Really?
yeah, like
Anything you can mention?
local recordings are now able to be downloaded in a mixed format. So you'd be
Yeah.
able to get like one master download that has all of
Nice.
the local recordings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
that was
smart.
a big update. And then also an addition of a bunch of AI functionality,
Mhm.
transcripts and AI clips. So you can actually get some short clips for reels and things like that on the
Have you been using that
platform.
kind of stuff? Because a lot of people have AI now, of course.
Well, that's what StreamYard is using is AI
Oh,
technology to analyze your full show and then pick
that's
out good segments for the 1
so
minute
smart.
clips for
Yeah, that's
reels.
fun.
So yeah, so but you can go into the editing tool and actually select on the timeline of your show clips for 1 minute, and then you can export those into reels or shorts. So it's got the flexibility of a do-it-yourself, and then just turn it over to AI and let them do it. So
it's just wild. And I don't know anybody who wants to go to a sound studio to record anymore. I just don't, like, who wants to leave the house, drive, use gas, find parking, go to a sound studio? You have to be, looking, I don't know, you have to have pants on. I'll say that. Who wants to do that when here we are on StreamYard? And I have to say, I use Zoom for my shows now. I've been around the block, as you know. And I'm speaking of podcasting, of course, but for 14 years, I've been podcasting, and I've been through a lot of different companies, a lot of hosting companies, a lot of different tricks. And, there's always something new. I mean, if there wasn't, how would they ever do more conferences and stuff and conventions? Anyway, I mean, it's an industry, you guys, obviously. It's a business.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I have found, and maybe I'm wrong, but to me, and it works for me, so therefore it's right. Digital is digital is digital. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So whether you're with Squadcast, or you're using Zoom, or you're using FaceTime, I mean, there's so many things that are really quite sophisticated and quite similar in what the average person is going to pick up, in your ear.
Yeah, and then also the feature sets of all those tools and platforms are different too. So it does take a little bit of spending time learning the tool and understanding what its strengths are. Right.
And if you want all the bells and whistles, I'm just saying, I've had a guest much more happy that I'm using Zoom than some of the ones I've used in the past, because they just don't want to use a new interface because they know Zoom. So can you just do Zoom? That's what people are thinking. Just saying.
And Carl asked a good question that probably needs to be answered, is that during a live stream, can we zoom in the camera? So that's really a question more for the camera than it is like for StreamYard.
There you go.
Right. You can just lean forward.
Here I come.
Or you can get cameras that have zoom capability, and then use a little remote control. Right.
I'm back here.
Yeah, right.
Look at that. My desk is on wheels. Now I'm over here, Carl.
Right.
Are you there?
So StreamYard doesn't have any Zoom tools per se. I think that's just one of those things that is just too much to manage. While you're trying to manage a live stream, is to zoom as well as switch cameras and keep camera angles, because the platform does support multi-camera. So you can have two different cameras, which is really, I think, in a lot of ways more interesting than even zooming in. So
there's all sorts of things that can be done. And if the platform doesn't have it yet, it's not like they're not going to. They're going to have it. And, they just roll it out slowly to keep us going.
Yeah. And also this comment from Drink with Rick, I'm going to have a giveaway at the end of the show to give away a StreamYard duck and a StreamYard mug. So enter the hashtag the yard into the comment field, just like Rick has done here, and that'll automatically get you entered into the giveaway. That I will do a drawing at the end, and because StreamYard has a drawing tool that you can use with your account, you can give away anything you want to via this tool, and it's at streamyard.com/giveaway, just to let everybody know about that tool and how fun it is. It actually adds one of those entertaining elements. It also keeps people anticipating something at the end of the show.
I can't wait.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the idea.
Rick wants to sing Zoom. Do you want to sing? Do you remember Zoom, Rob? Maybe you don't. Do you remember the TV show Zoom? Come on,
Uh,
Zuma, Zoom.
I'm not sure that I actually.
Come
Oh,
on,
maybe,
Zuma,
but I
Zoom.
can't. Not for
Come
sure.
on, give it a try. We're
Yeah, was
gonna
that a
show you
long time ago,
why.
Christine?
Dude, I'm talking over 40 years ago,
Okay,
45 years
okay.
ago. We were zooming out. It was a show from Boston, Massachusetts. It was like on Channel 13. Like you know what I mean? Like the
In
channel, I don't know how to say it, like the PBS station.
in Los Angeles, is that where it was?
No, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but it was
Oh,
national.
that's right.
It was all over the
That's right.
country.
Because you're from Pittsburgh originally, aren't you?
I am from Pittsburgh. Yes, it's true. You won't know by the accent. I got rid of it.
You got rid of it. How did you do? Yeah. So how did you get rid of your accent?
Well, I have a big family. I have 4 older sisters and an older brother. And my
Yeah.
one sister, I remember she would come home sometimes from college from school, and we would then drive her back to school because she lived, went to school in the city. We all went to the same university, Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, because my father worked there. So all 6 kids go through the same school because, of course, we got tuition. But when I was a little kid, I remember being in the back seat, and in the front seat, my mom would be talking to my sister, and my mom has the Pittsburgh accent, and my sister
Oh,
never did. And I remember thinking, I want to talk like her, and I don't want to talk
right.
like her.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to tell Carl, add the yard. So it's not hashtag yard, it's the yard. So if you wanted to type it into the comment field again, that'll get you added to the giveaway. And so it says, okay, here's another question I wanted to address here.
We
It
can't
says
use
we
StreamYard
can't
app.
use StreamYard app in the Facebook group. Yeah, that's actually a Facebook change. So you can't use Facebook groups anymore with live streams conventionally, but you can cut and paste your live stream links into Facebook groups. It just doesn't automatically get sent to your Facebook groups. So that's the hack that people have to do now. So if you have a live stream going on, I would just post it just like a normal post in there, promoting your live stream. So, and then linking to it on other areas of Facebook, like your Facebook profile or your Facebook page. So,
There's not that many people on Facebook anymore. Did you know that?
yeah,
Is that new
I was,
information?
yeah. Well, I still think that there's a lot of people over there. I mean,
I do
I
too,
still,
because it's so
yeah,
familiar. I do too. But I'm just
but
saying there's
it's
other platforms.
definitely in the decline, no question about it. People are
I think
becoming more sensitive to disclosing personal information, and they're getting, it's kind of like a health kind of thing that people are focusing on. It's right. Let's focus on reality, but I do think that I just think you have to treat these platforms with a certain level of understanding of what they're good for and what they're not, and
but
using them
also
to your advantage.
Instagram,
Right.
yeah, yeah. But Instagram is also owned by Facebook. So what's the difference really? It's the same company, right?
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah, definitely. And so's Threads, and so there's lots of
Is anybody
platforms.
on Threads? Come on, Rob. No way. Seriously, are you on? Have
Yeah.
you done Thread? I did get on it for about 2 days, and then I
Yeah.
went right back to Twitter.
Yeah. I I never really saw it as a replacement for Twitter, but I do
Oh,
know
really?
that the live streams over on X now. I don't know if you got the memo on
Tony
this,
said-
but
Yeah.
Twitter has dropped Twitter.com, so
Oh, I
it's
didn't know that.
all X. It's all
Yeah,
just
I guess
the
I knew
letter
that.
X
Yeah, I guess I
dot
knew that,
dot
but
com now.
my
So now it's
bookmarks, I still call it
officially yeah, it's officially now x.com. So when we
wow.
talk about it now, I think we just have to just drop the Twitter bird reference now.
Honestly, I don't know if Elon Musk deserves it, because he owns X and he really messed it up, which, these guys often do. They come in, they think they can be funny, they want to be the life of the party. And guess what? Turns out they don't have a sense of humor. And he shouldn't have done, it's not his business, as it were. Do you know what I mean? He's in a different business.
Well, I mean, he's wealthy. This is a free country. He can own what he can afford,
I
right? Just like
know,
the
but do
rest
you
of
know what
us.
I mean? Sometimes people who aren't in the artistic field, they just try to get in because they think they can just buy their way in. But then it turns out they're not even, not interesting.
Yeah. Well, I
No.
mean, I think Elon has made some changes that make his platform more able to be a platform for media, like audio and video. So he's
Yeah.
got the spaces
People
that
doing
he's
the
been
live
building out.
stream stuff. Yeah.
Right. So I think that there's improvements. There was talk at one point that X was going to do more with podcasting, and I mean they still do a good job with the live streams. I mean this show gets a lot of views on X every time I do a live show. So it actually will be as big as YouTube.
Rob,
So
I love how many different platforms you choose, all the different avenues you take. It makes you such an interesting, comprehensive person in this field because you really have been with a lot of different companies. You've been around the block. You've been to every conference there's ever been in podcasting. You speak a lot, and you've walked the walk and talked the talk. You podcast.
right.
There's people out there that don't even podcast and they don't even finding guests and hitting the pavement, as it were. They're just talking about podcasting and they're not even like getting guests. And so it's kind of like it's a treat to see you actually doing it and keeping up with everything. And so the rest of us don't have to.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The rest of us shouldn't have to or shouldn't, but yeah, I mean, it's just been part of my work that I've been doing and trying to keep up with
I
all
love
of
it.
the platforms. And if you think about all of these live streaming platforms like an X or a Facebook or YouTube or whatever, those are in addition to the whole ecosystem of podcasting, right? And I know,
Right.
Christine, you've been working in the podcasting side for a very long time, and
Yeah.
so I believe that you've been working with Libsyn in the past as far as a podcast host. So
Yeah.
what's
I've
your kind
been
of
with so many
thought on
different
the
places.
podcasting market right now? I mean, what's your thought on podcasting as an audio medium right now?
Oh, well, that's the way I go. I don't make anybody put on makeup or do anything live. I just don't, podcasting wise. I started in audio only, and that's just where I am. I
Mhm.
like this space. It's not to say I would never do video because I have done the game show and I have done storytelling shows
Right.
on, with my face and everybody else's faces. And here we are, just like here on StreamYard, because I've done this. However, for my podcasts, I don't know. I'm really stuck on the audio aspect and listening in the car. I listen to so many podcasts in the car. And also when I'm hiking or running or working in the garden, like I'm just all about audio. So for me, I've never watched a podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now I will say I've watched the news. That's how I watch the news. I go to YouTube, and everything comes
Yeah,
up.
it's same with me. It's same with me. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I really shifted my video consumption from mainstream media, like on a cable account to using like a Roku TV, that kind of an
Of course.
experience.
Of
And
course.
it's
But even for
really,
podcasting, I just take it,
yeah.
listen to me. I take it audioly. I just made that up. Audioly.
Wow.
I take it
How
from the
provocative is
audience.
that? Right. Yeah.
Pretty
How
provocative.
provocative is that? Uh,
I'll just be over
Rick,
here swinging my headphones.
drink with Rick posting here. Don't you have to have a paid account on X to live stream? I think maybe you do. I think you have to have at least a blue check mark. I believe. I don't know that it requires a premium account, which I think is a level upgrade up from that. But because I've been streaming there for some other shows that I do for a while, and then this show is currently live on X. but that's going to be off of the StreamYard account, which I'm sure is a paid account. But it's a good question, and that's also, Rick, you raise a much bigger topic, and Christine, I definitely want your thoughts on this too, around increasingly these platforms expecting content creators to, start to pay for distribution more. And if X is doing this, well, I think that there's a trend that's starting to move in that direction around premium content, and also being able, there's other platforms that are not the regular platforms that are starting to charge podcasters for building communities, right? So I think as we shift towards, away from like Facebook and away from these big platforms to more intimate, or I guess are more direct relationship type platforms, and I think we are shifting towards that. It's not a race or anything like that, but I do think that there's increasing interest in people creating more private or personal communities around the content that they make, and trying
What
to
do you mean?
monetize
Like
that.
just
Like a Patreon, there's
a
like a
podcast with your
Kajabi.
family?
No, I think it's more around building a community that wants just private access to the content. It's I think we're moving into an era of more interactive,
Naked
more intimate.
podcasting?
Right. No, I don't know about naked podcasting, but that could happen probably on some platforms.
Yeah, I'm
But
not hearing you. Okay, go ahead.
oh yeah, I mean, the whole naked podcasting thing is certainly, I mean, in the early days of podcasting, there actually was the Naked News Network that was out there. So, and it was a video show. So, it was one of those things that, people will experiment. If you give them a tool, they will find a way to use it, right? So
Here's the thing about video, when you do a show like this, when it's over, it's over. And that's kind of nice. I mean, you can, then if you wanted to edit the audio or fool with it, you could, but really, look, everybody knows it's live. We're here in real time. So you don't have to edit. That's a huge advantage.
Yeah. Christine, I also wanted to ask you about kind of like what's your thought process that goes into each of your live shows, or your improv shows? How do you actually formulate what you're going to do in those shows? Do you take in consideration the talent that you have on stage? Do you have any kind of an outline script, or is it purely improv type of production?
Okay, I don't do any improv, to be clear. I've never done improv.
Yeah.
I have a game show.
It just happens to be in an improv facility, but it's not improv at all. Right?
You mean the Hollywood Improv is a comedy club?
Oh, it is. Okay.
They don't do improv there.
But they call
it
improv.
Is just called that. It's just called the improv.
Yeah.
There's no improv. No way.
Okay.
But it's interesting.
No way.
No. Because but it's so interesting you should say that, because my game show Story Smash has been around for like 11 years, a long time. And it used to be called Shotgun Storyworthy. That was the name of the show, Shotgun Storyworthy. And the idea being that, a shotgun is being under pressure, or like a shotgun wedding in that context. And the idea of the show is, I think I said this already, but the contestant spins the wheel, whatever they land on, they tell a true 1-minute story. So you go, boom, vacation. So then the big clock is ticking. You have 1 minute to tell a story about vacation. What were we talking about?
Yeah, isn't that a form of an improv, though? I mean,
No. Okay,
hoping.
I'm so sorry. So here's the thing. Now, if you landed on vacation, you have to tell a true 1 minute story about something that happened to you about a vacation. Okay. So this is where it comes into play that I use comedians. I use all comedians, because comedians are used to talking in the first person. I am from here. I do this. I do this. But at one point here in Los Angeles, there's another place called IO West, which stands for Improv Olympic. And that is an improv club, although it's closed now. But it was like UCB, like Upright Citizens Brigade, or the Groundlings, like a proper improv club. And I started doing Story Smash there at IO West. I did it there for about a year. But the idea was the manager would give me these free classes to give away to the winner of the night. And the idea using the students at the improv club, right? Using the students as contestants, because I thought improv, and exactly what you're thinking right now, improv, it's on your feet, etc. Well, it turns out after doing it there for like 9 months or a year, these people that were doing improv couldn't do this game. They were paralyzed. The wheel lands on mom. So tell me a true 1-minute story. But they were unable to say, my mom this, or I am a mother, because they needed you to tell them like a place and a time and, a period. They needed you to say, oh, you're a Russian baker and it's winter. You know what I mean? Like they needed suggestions. They didn't know how to talk from the heart. So my game, Story Smash, the storytelling game show, is all about comedians. And I'm a comedian. And then my other show, My Life in 3 Songs, is also based on comedians.
Yeah, but if you expect people to be spontaneous on stage, right, and to tell a story that they weren't prepped before, right? So they have no idea what they're going to get hit with, right?
They have 12. Yeah, they do know 12 of the topics. If you go to storysmashshow.com, if you go over to the website, all 12 of the topics are right there, and you could see what they are. They don't change.
So you just
we change.
Spin the wheel and get hands on that topic, and then they have to talk about some story that's related to that topic, right?
Yeah, it has to be real. Like you land on school days. Well, we all went to school. If you landed on mom, you might not be a mom, but you had a mom, or if it lands on drunk tank, it doesn't mean you've been in the drunk tank, but maybe a drunk story. And if you've never been drunk, that's a good story too. So of course you can associate with every topic, but at the end of the day, comedians make the best contestants because they speak truthfully about themselves. Thank you.
And probably more off the cuff, right? They have an ability to improvise or improv. maybe a little bit, right?
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So anyway, it's super fun. And like I said, I use StreamYard for that. And there's even a couple of, there's quite a few up on YouTube. I always did my shows, at the same time with Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn at the same time when I use StreamYard. And anyway, my game show, I wanted to say, I've been doing it for like 11 years in one context or another. So I did it for like 6 years at the Hollywood Improv. And now I'm over at a different club called the Lyric Hyperion, which is very popular in Los Angeles. But my point is that for me, it is a game show. And it's 1 hour. That's the goal because I want it to be a television show. So I'm very hardcore on the format. And that goes for both of my podcasts as well. And I also teach podcasting, not a lot anymore, but I used to a lot. And I would always ask people, okay, you have to have a list of exactly what's going to go down in the show. You have to have an outline. You have to. And you have to share it with the people that are on the podcast because we all want to know.
Absolutely not.
We all want to know what's going to happen. So for me, I could even show you one. I mean, I have very specific, and now I podcast on Zoom, but I show everybody, this is the outline. It's a piece of paper. It's all ragged by now, but piece of paper. And it says, the name, your name, the date it's going to air, the air date, the topic. What are we talking about? This isn't long form interview. My shows are very specific. So I think an outline is very important. And I always start with 0000, meaning we're at 0. And by the time I do their credits, it's like 10 minutes in. And I say 0010. And then the show goes to 45 minutes. So it says 0045. And so when the guest sees that piece of paper, I'm holding it in front of them. We haven't started recording yet. I'm just showing them this is how it's going to go down. I swear to God, every time, Rob, their eye goes to the bottom. When are we done? I need to know in the back of my mind when I can get out of here to pick up my kid or do the laundry or whatever's happening. People's time is very, very valuable. And I don't know if all the podcasters realize that. Like, you're not paying these guests, right? Are you?
Yeah.
If you are, yeah, man, take their time. But if you're
Right.
not, you need to tell them up front, what is my commitment to you?
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
Most people don't
I
use
agree
that
with
line.
that.
You
Yeah, I
didn't
agree
use
with
that
that.
line today.
Well, actually, I do have an outline, but
Really?
it's not one. I'll just put it this way, Christina. I create an outline so I have a mental picture of what I want to do,
But I
but I
don't
don't
know.
really follow it. But I don't really follow it that closely.
But I know, but how
So,
long is the recording?
this show is usually an hour to an hour 30, somewhere in that
What
that
the
time frame.
heck? I gotta go. No, I'm kidding. Well, you're in luck. I'm here. I'm here.
Well,
Look,
thank
I love
you,
the
Christine, for being here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the all the comments. They're all such I mean, I say nerds in the sweetest way, but they're all still talking about the streaming versus the Streamyard, hashtag yard. And they're still talking
Yeah.
about phones and Zooming. That's cool, man. I get it.
Yeah, and then I also got this comment too. It said, "Hey, from who's that from? Let's see,
Yorba
here, from
Kingdom.
Yorba Kingdom TV, right? It says, "Hey guys, what is the minimum best camera for StreamYard?" Well, I think the simplest way to answer that is that use what camera you have. Might be the way of thinking about it. If you have it built into your computer or your Mac or whatever, you can use that. But if you want to get a better kind of quality of video, you can get a high quality webcam or a camcorder that's maybe got a larger aperture kind of lens, or you can get like a mirrorless DSLR, it's like a still camera, but you just use it as a video camera. Lots of kind of YouTubers use a DSLR type of a still camera with a lens on it that you can zoom in and out on. That's got good quality. One of the advantages of a camcorder or a DSLR over a webcam is that you typically get better color depth. Like I'm using a Logitech C920 webcam right now, but I usually use a 4K camcorder from Sony in my home studio, and I think it gives a much better quality image. But the webcams are fine too. I mean, I think most people would say that this camera and the lighting and stuff, and I do have a studio light here that's pointed at me, so it's one that I brought with me from my studio. But so I think lighting is probably far more important than the camera.
So then why didn't you open those blinds and turn the desk around? Wouldn't that work for you?
I kind of wanted to have that lighted background because I wouldn't have had a lighted background if I would have done it the other way. So
I see what you're saying, against the wall. That's smart. That's smart.
Yeah. Yes. But I did close the blinds so it wasn't too bright. And then I have the studio light pointed at me directly. So it lights me up, but I also have a lighted background too. So
I'm just sitting in front of a window.
Yeah, which is great too. I mean, that can work great if you have a good background behind your window.
Yeah.
Which I don't really have. I have a kitchen. Yeah, I have a kitchen behind.
I always try to sit in a corner.
Yeah.
I always try to sit in a corner for more depth.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's actually a fun thing to do. I've actually not done that very often, but that is a good tip though. I think if you are in a room, I think a corner, actually it also creates better acoustic scenario too. So it may make your audio sound a little bit better, being instead of a flat wall that the sound bounces off of. But those are kind of little little tips that you can take away if you're trying to do this from a remote location or whatever. But that question about a camera, right, is a good question though. I mean, you can spend as much money as you have on a camera.
I mean, that's just it. You can get same with microphones. You can get a very good microphone for $79, or you can get another one that might be $6,000. I mean, there's all the range. But somebody was talking about traveling and recording. I think these little windscreens like I have on my microphone are good. So you don't have to have the extra, the extra pea popper or whatever those are, the extra windscreens.
It's basically just foam. That's the same thing I have on this.
Yeah.
MP7.
Yeah, it's perfect though. And rather than having another circle windscreen and another attachment.
Yeah. So I wanted to remind everybody that at the end of the show, I'm going to do the Q&A, which I'll try and answer some of the questions that have come in that I've starred in the Streamyard platform that we can go through at the end. So if you made a longer post or whatever in the comment stream that is a question, I'm trying to address some of the questions that are kind of easy to answer, kind of as we flow through the show. But let's see here. Let's see what else we have coming in here.
I use my laptop and a microphone. Tracy asked what we use. I don't use my phone. I use a laptop.
Yeah, let's pull up Tracy's comment. Tracy and Dawes Laporte. That's a long name you got there. Carl Henson. I guess he depends on if you are on a phone or a computer. You can change the layout. Well, if you're on a computer, you can change the layout of this show. If you're on your phone, you still might be able to do it in a browser, but it's always best to do it on a computer to do these shows. Streamyard does have a mobile app now for iOS, but it's only so, like in this case, Christine using the iOS app for Streamyard to join me on the show. So that's available right now. It's free in the iOS App Store, so you can get that in there. But yeah, a computer is always better. Me a Mac or
your audio just wavered.
It wavered. Well, that could happen. I'm on Wi-Fi here, so it could waver. Yeah.
I get you. That's all right.
It says. Tracy also says, "Awesome job. I'll take your tips. Thank you." And he says, and then Carl Henson writes, "Yeah, I'm streaming on my phone, so you can. I've done live streaming on StreamYard on my iOS phone, my iPhone before.
No kidding.
It works pretty good. Yeah, it works pretty good. So,
are you doing that now, or you have a laptop?
No. I have a Logitech C920 webcam, and then I have a Surface computer. It's only got a 14-inch screen, so it's a pretty small screen. But it's a full Windows computer. So as you can see, it's fully producing the show, which is, I was keeping my fingers crossed that it was going to work out well.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's all good here. And then looks like Sajal Raul Amen or Amen says, "Please sing a song. Your voice is beautiful." So I guess somebody likes your
voice. Not today,
voice,
Saj. Not today.
Tomorrow, maybe, right?
Maybe tomorrow. That's right.
All right. So let's talk about a couple other things too, and then we can definitely get into more questions. But let's see here. I'm trying to navigate something here. So somebody likes to comment here, but let's see here. Let's talk a little bit on your advice on how to leverage a live stream or a live event, right? So you've been doing a lot of kind of live in-person events.
No, but that's only my game show, Rob, to be clear. That's a game show that's done in a theater. And it's done, it's done in a theater, or, it's a bar / theater or whatever. I mean, you can get drinks out in the lobby and take them into the theater. And
live could be a confusing term because it can mean live video streaming, but it can also mean live in person, right? So
I just record my game shows. When I do the show live, It's here
Right.
in Los Angeles. I recorded on an iPhone and I
Mhm.
put it on the podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
But it's
not the
being
best
performed
recording.
live on stage, right? It's being performed
Yeah.
live on
Mhm.
stage, and you do have a studio audience, right?
Oh yeah. And then, it's
Yeah.
it's an audience. It's dark in the audience and people are drinking and laughing. Yeah, it's super
Yeah.
fun. The theater holds 75, so it's not huge, but we have a great time and it's plenty big for LA. There's a
Yeah.
lot of entertainment choices out here, as you know, so you don't want too big of a theater.
Right. So should you, as a podcaster, consider doing live in-person events, do you think?
Well, like I said, my game show is so funny that it makes up for the audio not being great. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
The
Yeah.
audio on mine, like I said, I just set the audio. I set the iPhone in the back of the room. I tape it to the wall and I hit record.
Mhm.
So that's how I'm doing it. But in general, my podcasts are all done. Both of my podcasts, I have over 840 of Storyworthy, and my other show, My Life in Three Songs. I'm producing brand new shows every week. Two of My
Mhm.
Life in Three Songs, and they're all done on Zoom, and I'm in a closet talking to the guests, who is wherever they are. I don't do in person anymore at all
Okay.
because, at least in my experience, nobody wants to drive to a studio to record with another person like a sound engineer. I mean,
Mhm.
unless we're on, The Tonight Show. I mean, in other words, like if it's just a podcast, whether it's going on YouTube or not, I think that people they find it easier to do from their home. Don't you think that really changed things during the pandemic?
Yeah, I think doing things remote is certainly, yeah, it's very popular, but I've also seen, I don't know if you watch a lot of what goes on YouTube, but a lot of YouTube shows that look like podcasts like this one,
Yeah,
are being done in person. People sitting
sure,
across from each other
sure.
increasingly, and it seems like those shows are, I don't know if it's just the type of content that it is and how good it is, but those shows seem to be becoming very popular.
Yeah. Well, there's always
It's
an
not like doing
audience.
a show with a set, right? It's almost like
Yeah,
you're, yeah, like an
sure.
old TV interview program,
Yeah, it's
right?
Johnny Carson, of course. Yeah, exactly. If that's what you want a late night talk show, that's exactly what you do, of course. Exactly what you should do, of course.
Mhm,
Set it up
mhm.
yourself. That's what I did during the pandemic. I recorded right here in this dining room, and I had put red curtains. Actually, they were tablecloths. I tacked up with small nails tablecloths, and it looked like a red curtain from a stage. And I did all my shows here like that. And that was super fun. But we didn't have a choice then. Now we have a choice. My choice is to go back in the closet and talk to somebody. That's my idea of good podcasting.
Okay, yeah. So Tracy also posted a comment and says
Oh, good.
StreamYard has a feature in it that you can set and adjust the look, right? So I
Mhm.
think what you're talking about is, I think, can kind of touch up your appearance, maybe, is what what Tracy might be talking about
I
here.
think she's talking about like the wallpaper around you. Do you see how
Oh,
you
okay. Or
have the
the
Rob Greenlee
backgrounds,
friends? Yeah.
right?
And you see
Or the
how you have
background.
that annoying banner going in the lower third, like it won't stop?
Yeah, it just
That's
goes constantly. It's very much it's there to be annoying, Christine. Yeah,
well, it's
it's
working. Yeah, and
that's
Tracy said both. Exactly.
that's the whole point of having a ticker, is to be annoying. So
Exactly.
it's
Yeah,
it's it's to remind people to join the giveaway, right?
that's
So
sweet.
there's a
That's
there's a
right.
little bit of a purpose there, but it's probably time to
Hashtag
turn it
the
off.
yard. That's right.
Yeah, I think it's time to turn it off now. So, which is fine. It was kind of like, for first couple of episodes, I was playing background music during the show, and it was going on
Wow.
too long, and people got annoyed. So,
Yeah.
which is
What
fine.
kind of music were you trying to do? Whose music?
It's just royalty-free music. Actually, I have
Oh,
about three or four tracks that I have used here. One kind of sounds like a game, like a video game audio, and another one is just kind of like a nice little fun rhythm that's in there. So
Rick
kind of
said that we were getting ticked off at the ticker.
ticked off. All right. So I took
Good one, Rick.
the ticked off ticker down. So that's all awesome. And I see that we've got, fun little comments in here too. I think those are fun. Yeah, yeah. It's like clinging wine glasses together or champagne glasses. So
Right.
somebody likes the show. So Christine, I think we're
Good.
doing a good job. So anyway, hmm. So I'm trying to think of other elements of what you've done that people could learn from. If you think about your productions that you've done, is
Yeah.
there anything that you can think of that would be helpful to someone that's just getting started?
Yeah, it depends on, if you are just getting started. And when I teach podcasting and I talk to kids who are getting or people that are getting started, the main thing I tell people is to really know your field. So let's just say you want to do like an astrology podcast. Your hobby or your interest is astrology. Well, you need to get to know every other astrology show out there. And I don't mean
Mhm.
intimately listen to them all, etc., but I mean
Yeah.
look at what's on the wall. When did they record last? Because that's the first thing that'll make you laugh is you'll look on Apple Podcasts and you'll see in the category of astrology, you'll see 300 shows and you'll be like, shit.
Yeah.
And then you
Don't
start clicking on them.
copy. Right.
Then you start clicking on them. They haven't recorded since 2017. They're
Yeah.
not even in the game. So I would say really get to know the people. So let's say you're looking at the whole screen of astrology podcasts. Let's say
Hmm.
we're just talking about 100 of them. Well, 80 of them are not going to be recording anymore. The other 20, you're going to hate 10 of them. But 10 of them are going to be very, very good. And you're going to say, shit, how did they do that? And then you're
Right.
going to do a deep dive and you're going to look at their website, look at their socials. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you copy them. Did anybody hear me? Copy them. That's
Copy
what you
that.
do.
Yeah.
And the other tip I give people is when you're starting, like just tonight, when you're thinking about this show you're going to have and how great it's going to be, just for fun, just go into your phone, pull up the voice memo, and just record an episode. Just for a minute, start talking by yourself into a phone or pretending that the guest is there. You know what I mean? Just start doing it and see how that feels because you're going to need to do it over and over again. In other words, the thing they don't tell you about podcasting is nobody will fire you.
That's true. You're not going to get kicked off the air, right?
So you have to make like choices, and it's hard to quit because you get a train rolling. So just don't blow out all your energy in the first one or two episodes. And the way you won't do that is if every night before you go to bed, you're just sitting there in bed talking into your phone about your next episode. I mean, this is before you're even getting a microphone. You see what I'm saying? You just
Yeah.
start doing what you want to do. How about
Right.
that? Be
Yeah.
your
I think
own boss. You got it, Johnny.
I think that's a good tip. No question. Hey,
Yeah.
before we get too far into the show, I did want to mention one important announcement that I'm going to make here that I need to do before the show gets
If
towards
you
the end
say
here.
hashtag the yard, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, I'm not because I think everybody's trained to do that already, Christine. So I think we're okay on that. But I wanted to mention to the audience here that this will be the last live podcast tip show that is streamed on Streamyard. After this show, the next episode of this will be back in June on June 6th, and it will be off of my own personal channel on YouTube and X at Rob Greenlee. So So just wanted to let everyone know just to be fully transparent about this. The show will continue, but it just won't be off of the StreamYard channels anymore. So my 1-year contract with StreamYard, it expires at the end of May, and it's not being renewed, as well as a lot of other content creators, I guess, that have a partnership with StreamYard. It's just a change of ownership and a change in direction, and it doesn't really mean anything more than just kind of like a change in strategy that the company is making. And
it's very calm. You talk in such a calming voice, like like every other content creator on StreamYard is flipping out. Everybody else is like, what am I going to do now? And that's
there's nothing really to do. There's nothing really to.
But Rob, let me educate the children. That's why it's really important to have a website, because you need to be able to go back to home base. Website is our website is ground control. It's where everything stems from. So one day you're using StreamYard and then they're gone. Well, shit house mouse, man. You better have a place to tell people that. So in other words, one strong location, and then everybody can go from there. Do you know what I'm saying? Get a website. It's really important.
Yeah, it's always good to have a landing spot for you for a show. But I've enjoyed working with the StreamYard team. It's certainly been fun. But all things kind of come to an end. So it's the same thing that I did for a few years working for Microsoft on the Zune Insider podcast, is that there was a change in approach and the podcast stopped and life goes on. So that's kind of what's happening here too. So I also do.
I'm just saying, I hear what you're saying. I hear life goes on. Okay, what are you going to do? But I also do have compassion to people who might be really devastated by this, because it really does. Here's what it is. And this is in life. Here it is. Here's the problem in life, Rob. Just write this down, then you'll know. When you don't see it coming, it hurts the worst.
Right.
And when you get used to a certain way of doing things and then the rug is pulled out, it hurts.
Yeah.
But you're right. You have a choice. Either you let it go and that was fun and we're done here, or you got to figure it out. What are you going to do next?
Right. And so the show's going to continue. It's just going to continue off of my own channels, which I already have shows on my own channels right now that you can consume, as well as audio and video podcasts and that talk about podcasting. But I plan on keeping the show going.
Good.
And for some period of time, I can't say it will go on forever, but it's a show that I enjoy doing, and I enjoy the community, and I enjoy everybody here. So why not keep it going on Thursday nights? So
it works perfectly, because you have information to give and there's an audience who wants to hear it. There you go.
Well, and I've got great friends like yourself that can share some insights into new media and creating content. Your perspective and your experience is unique, like it is everyone else in the medium, and I've always enjoyed kind of exploring that with creators that have been around this medium a long time, and I think new creators can learn from that and also ask questions and maybe try and work their way through challenging situations, kind of like what's happening with the transition of this show. So,
well, it's interesting because, see, sometimes people think that other people in the industry are competition, but they're not, because
we all work together.
Yeah, no, you should share tips and steal tips and give tips and take tips. Got a penny, leave a penny. Need a penny, take a penny. I think you know what I'm saying, Rob.
Yeah. Well, that's like we even talked about this earlier in the program, is that's how this medium was built. So it's an expectation that I have too. Just because I'm not doing it on the StreamYard channels doesn't make it any different of a show. It's just not available in the same places. So, which is, really, this show has been available off of my personal channel all along, actually, because in YouTube you can create a playlist over there.
Yeah.
And so it's my landing page right now. So there's not going to be a big shift, really.
Yeah, your landing page is Rob Greenlee on YouTube.
Correct. At Rob Greenlee, right?
Yep.
So
Good.
it's easy to get to. I've had that account for like 17 years, and
It's great.
got a lot of content up there already on it.
Good.
So it says it's like radio here. There's a comment here I want to bring up here. It says radio Kumanda. It says we have a podcast that is done in the street while walking the dog.
That's sweet.
What do you think about that, Christine?
That's adorable. Why not? It sounds like fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious how you're recording that. I mean, from a geek perspective, I am curious about how you're doing
Probably
that.
just have a microphone into their phone, right?
Yeah, they certainly could, or some lavaliers or something like that go into their phone or something like that. I know.
Or they could even be carrying a Zoom mic, like a little interface.
Yeah. No, that would be a great way to do it.
Oh, the Zoom. See that? The show comes back to Zoom. At first we were talking about.
Well, Zoom is actually an audio recorder as well as a piece of software.
That's what I mean. So we were talking about the platform, then we're talking about the audio recorder, then we're talking about the TV show. What's next?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the thing about podcasting is we can make it what we want, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So before we move on and take more questions and things like that, I wanted to mention also that the next episode that I'm doing of this show is coming out Thursday, June 6th. It's going to be live again off of my own channels. And I'm going to have another terrific guest. Hala Taha from Yap Media is going to join me. And she's a Gen Zer that's building a media company and has a lot to say about young people in podcasting. And that's the topic that we're going to talk about, is kind of the revolution that's going on in this media or this medium of podcasting and live streaming and things like that, and how expectations are kind of changing for different types of content. And so that'll be available at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Let's kind of maybe at this point, let's do our giveaway really quick. And
hashtag the yard. I'm so excited.
Yes. So if you want to enter hashtag the yard, then
I
get you entered into the sweepstakes for a StreamYard duck or a StreamYard mug. So
I wish you had that duck to hold up, but I know you're in Phoenix.
Yeah, I just didn't bring Puddles with me this time. I didn't pack the duck.
I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah, so he's Puddles is sitting on my bookshelf right now. So he's safe and sound. So let me pull up the giveaway or the giveaway screen. And this is that tool I was telling you about, if you're not familiar with it. StreamYard offers it with every plan. So if you want to do something fun with your own show sometime, this is a tool that's available to you. So whoever wins this, looks like we've got a good set of entries so far. What you need to do is send me an email with your contact information, your mailing address, so we can send you that mug and that Puddles duck. So let me pull up my email address so you can see that. It's just rob.greenlee@gmail.com is all it is. So let me see if I can find it here on my list of things, and I will show it on the screen here so you can see it. So let's go ahead and pull the drawstring. If you want to enter hashtag the yard into the comment field, you can get yourself entered into the giveaway. So go ahead and do that quick here, and I'll hold on pushing the button just for a minute to get everybody in, just to make sure that we're not missing anybody with an entry into the giveaway here. So let's go ahead and.
All right, radio is entering more than once. Is that allowed?
You're only allowed one entry. So
thank you, Mariana. That is
thank you for trying. Thank you for trying.
Muy hermosa.
Appreciate that.
Sí, yes.
All right, so we've got 32 entries right now. So let's go ahead and pull and find ourselves a winner. That would be cool. All right, here it goes. Yay. Woo, 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 woo. Let's see who it is. All right.
Too
All right.
funny.
All right. All right. Uh, uh, oh, Antonio Dio.
Red. I like
Antonio
that.
Dio.
Antonio Dio. Antonio Dio. Congratulations. You are the winner of today's Pedals
Give
the
a-
Duck
Giveaway.
plushie and Streamyard mug. Thanks for playing, Rob Greenlee and Friends.
Yeah. Well, thank you. All right. Looks like somebody is happy here. Let's see here. Yeah.
Antonio Dio.
That's awesome. All right. Well, send me an email to rob.greenlee@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to forward your mailing address off to the StreamYard team, and we can get you your merch. And so next thing here, not to stack things too much, and I know there's been a lot of comments come in. Looks like Rick posted in here, yay, I didn't win again. I'm on a roll. Sorry about that. It's been kind of weird because there's been a couple of people that have won multiple times on this show, and then there's a bunch of people that haven't won. So I don't know what the algorithm that they use to select the winners are, and I didn't have anything to do with that. So, but anyway, sometimes it doesn't seem fair. But sorry about that. And then looks like Johnny Bean writes, "My cat is sleeping on the couch." Okay. It would be great if you could share that picture. I would love to put it up on the screen, but I'm not sure how to do that. So it says here, I always like a sleeping cat. It's always a good thing. So let's go ahead and move on from the sweepstakes winner or not sweepstakes, but giveaway, and start looking at some questions. So let's get in there.
I don't think there's any more questions. I think it's all just comments.
Well, I did star some questions.
Okay.
So let me, beyond sleeping on a couch, which is a good comment. I like that comment. It would be okay to have a dog sleeping on the couch too. So just to make sure that we've got.
Rob, I had my cat in my lap. Didn't you see that?
I did see that. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's what they're commenting on. Their own cats. It's not out of the blue. They saw my cat and they're sharing.
You prompted it. You seeded.
I know, but don't act like it's out of the blue.
Well, I thought for a minute there that it was, but I guess I did see off of the corner of my eye.
It's in context. You're all right. You're all right.
You had a cat there. So looks like let's pull up a question. It says Sanjal Raul Amin writes, please let me know why we don't use customized background pictures. Why we don't use customized background picture when using on a cell phone. I think it's just the capability of the browser capability doesn't allow you to do that on your mobile phone, I think is what the answer is to that. I'm not a technical kind of expert on that, but that's my assumption, that there's more limitations to what is possible in a mobile browser than it is on a desktop browser. And that could be one of them there. And frankly, that's why the StreamYard team has been working on a mobile app, was to add capabilities like that, was to maybe make some parity between a mobile phone stream. So let's say you wanted to use an iPad or something like that. You could use a mobile app, or you could use your iPhone to stream a live show and fully produce it in that, which is an interesting challenge from a UI perspective to do that on such a small screen, because it does take a little bit larger screen to really navigate this and do a good job. And I think the show's gone pretty smoothly for me on a small screen, like a 14-inch tablet type of a screen. So it's been good. Let's see here. And then Drink with Rick posed a question here. It says, Drink with Rick writes, I edit some of my video shows after the live stream for repurposing into other syndicated video content type of distribution. Surely there are others who do this as well. Yeah, I would say that there's, I mean, I do that with this show. I download the recording, the local mix of this show, and I run it through a image editor, as well as a video editor, I guess is the right way to do it. And you can actually edit this video in StreamYard. So there is the ability to create shorts and reels right in the interface. So from the video that you have up in the cloud. So what were you showing here, Christine, there with your
Tracy
microphone?
wants to know about my microphone. This is just like a little cozy for the top. It's just foam. And this is a simple Shure microphone, which are absolutely adequate. Actually, this is not. This is an Audio Technica. I have several microphones. This is a better mic. This is Audio Technica, but it's still a good price and a good mic.
Yeah. So, what's good about those foam covers over the microphone is that you can get up closer to the microphone and actually have a better kind of experience, and not cause, like a pop kind of an experience. Because a lot of these dynamic microphones, you got to get up close on them. So anyway, well, you're over there smiling, Christine. What's going on?
You all the innuendos you're saying, it's just funny.
I was saying innuendos. Oh boy, I better be careful of that. So I can't be doing that on the StreamYard channels. I can't be doing innuendo. So that's a strict restriction on this platform. So it didn't look like that there were here. Let me go through and look at the other comments in here to see if we have any other comments coming in that might be, yeah. And I think my volume dropped a little bit because my microphone lost a little volume for some reasons, but I hope it's been sounding okay, but it sounds probably okay now, I would think.
You could just talk louder.
You're always so practical, Christine, about these things. Just speak up, right?
That's right.
Get on that. Don't talk so softly, right? Can't do that. So it says, okay, so I'm not sure I understand this question. Do you understand this? It says, looks like J.O. or
play the live. I mean, you can just don't have it going anywhere and put it up on your own, I guess.
How to delay live in StreamYard. I'm not sure how to answer that.
Well, I just said it. Didn't I just say it?
Well, but I'm trying to read it from how I'm interpreting it, not from that perspective. So, because this person may be saying that maybe they want to hit pause.
They might be saying they want like a 10-second delay so that they.
Right.
So they can bleep out.
So they can bleep out those.
And Johnny and Tracy are both saying you can't do it while you're in live StreamYard. You cannot delay.
It's going out, so you got to self censor yourself.
No, but that's good. It's good to know that live is live.
Yeah, and don't talk so softly. Idea. Right. So speak up. So I will definitely do that. Let's see here. Live is live. Yeah. Okay. So Johnny Bean writes, I take live calls on my shows and always have the mute ready.
Smart.
Yeah. I had thought about it at one point during the show, being able to bring in video comments. But I thought that was a little too hard to manage and still do the show. That
sounds
live.
Like a nightmare. Seriously, Rob. You have no idea where people are bringing in. This feed could be coming in from a dark closet, or they could be naked. And, you don't know. No way.
That's right. And that's exactly why I never did it, because I could never figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
In a way that would actually.
Your sound went down again.
Quality. Yeah, it did. I don't know why my microphone is doing that. Okay, now it's back up. Right. So there's a little. Yeah, there's a little volume control on the top of this MV7 that you run your finger on, and it adjusts the volume of the microphone. and I don't know why it just randomly drops. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
weird.
Yeah. So let's see if there's anything else here. Oh, definitely. Okay. Yeah, Antonio Idio, right? Did I say that right?
Antonio Dio.
Idio.
Antonio
If
Dio.
this message shows up on the screen, then I will do 5 jumping jacks. Okay, so
Whoop, you dropped again.
get on that. Do 5 jumping jacks, and I will turn up my microphone again. Okay, it's booming now. It's
Yeah.
up. It's up high. So let us know if you finished the 5 jumping jacks. All right. He hasn't, or she, I'm not sure it's a he or she, has not.
You dropped
confirmed.
again.
What?
You're out.
What is going on?
You have a bad connection.
No, it's the microphone doing something weird.
Okay,
All right.
way to go,
Okay.
Antonio.
Okay, he finished. I think it's a he. I'm not sure.
She. I think it's a she.
It's a she.
I don't think it matters. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it doesn't matter anymore, does it? It's I finished my jump. Oh, that's good. Well, you got your exercise for the night. So anyway, let's see. I still have my volume up, which is good.
He.
He.
Now he's laughing.
No, he's
Windows is turning you down. I wouldn't doubt it, Steve. I'm shocked he's in a Windows program. I'm also shocked.
Well, you think I should be in a Mac? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, I've been doing, yeah. I mean, I don't know why anybody makes it hard on themselves. Everything Macintosh is just 100% easier. But I'm not going to fight with you. Not today, not ever.
You're not, huh? Okay,
No.
it dropped me again.
I'm not
So
a fighter.
now I'm back up again.
I'm not a fighter. I'm a podcaster.
You're not. But you're willing to fight for your audience, right? Maybe.
What is your audio, hun, with a red microphone? What does that mean? What is your audio?
I'm not sure. Let's pull that up here so I can fully see that. What is your audio hum with that red microphone?
Is it humming? Is there a hum?
Maybe people are seeing some sort of a hum coming. I'm not hearing a hum myself.
Sun? Are they talking about the sun? Oh,
No,
headphones. My headphones are yeah, I know. These are
humming
Bose.
sound.
These are Bose.
But you're not
That's
using
no.
headphones right now. Are you using?
I think hun is a term of endearment.
Oh.
Rob, you're the one who has no audio.
Yeah. This is not a great ad for sure.
Tracy, you're so cute. I love it.
Yeah. Oh,
awesome.
Okay. Steve says that there's a browser extension that will fix that. So, okay. That's good to hear. I'm not sure what that extension is, but it's good to know that you think that there's a browser extension that will fix that. That's all that matters. So it says, it's hun, I'm in, or I'm Southern.
She's Southern. That's all. You can just say, hey, hon, can I get you this or that? You know, it's just a term.
I guess it's a term of endearment of sorts.
Yes,
right?
For sure. No worries.
All right. And so Johnny's saying, ha ha. Okay. All right. I think we've definitely gone off the dark side or the deep side here.
Okay. All they need to know is they need to go over to mylifein3songs.com. mylifein3songs.com. I talk to comedians about the 3 songs in their life that have impacted them. Not necessarily their favorite songs, but songs that have made an impact and really tell you about the comedian and where they're from.
So a listener can just go to your main website and get access to all your shows.
Right there. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Keep it simple.
It's just at ChristineBlackburn.com.
That's it. 3 chords and a truth. That's right. 3 chords. You got one more than the Ramones.
If you need a good laugh, right? Go go check out her shows. They're always
Thank
entertaining.
you.
She's got some talent out of Hollywood that is helping her.
Yeah.
And
Thanks,
I appreciate
Tracy.
you. I appreciate you, Christine, for being here with me tonight. And
thanks, Rob. It's always fun to see you.
And doing a fun show as we kind of close half of a door on this show. It's been a great journey, 30 episodes. It's great to kind of end
it's great.
A series on a round number. So it's not like it ended 31. So, 30 is a good number. And then I'll be back June 6th off of Rob Greenlee channel. So with the live show, pretty much the same show. It's just going to be off of different distribution points. So just shift if you want to follow the show, it's up to you to join me. I would love to have you as part of my new show, and I'll probably do a little bit of refresh of the show, a little bit of changes, but not too dramatic. I don't want to make it a shock to everybody. But anyway, Christine, thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody here that has joined me and has been a loyal follower of this show. And thank you so much for being here and along this journey with the Streamyard. And if you're a Streamyard user, keep using the platform. I know I'm going to be, and it's a platform that has been very good to me, and I've had a lot of fun. Having guests on like Christine has always been a fun aspect of this show, and I've always enjoyed that. So Johnny writes, just subbed Rob. Well, thank you so much for going in and subscribing to my Rob Greenlee channel. I appreciate that.
And do Christine Blackburn while you're there, Johnny. You heard me.
Right.
I have a lot of content on YouTube. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun creating content up there. It's just having time to create more of it, and that's what I'd like to do. So
yeah,
and that's what I'm going to do, starting on June 6th. So that's great.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, thank you. So good night, everybody. I know I'm notorious for the long goodbyes because I'm always looking at the questions coming in and the comments that continue to come in.
Oh, Phil's a good friend of mine too, Johnny. I love Phil.
Oh, Phil. Phil Hendry. Right. So this is the comment on that one. Phil Hendry is a good friend of mine, Christine. Yeah. Is he in LA too? Is Phil?
Yeah, he is. I just had him on my show a couple weeks ago, and I'm on his documentary as well. There's a brand new documentary about Phil.
Okay.
On Amazon Prime.
Awesome.
It's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Go check that out, and everybody have a terrific evening, and thank you, and
Happy Memorial Day.
Right. Have a great holiday, and I'll see you back here on June 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. So thank you. All right.
Bye.
Good night.